Now, my dear, how can I help you? Anna fought the urge to wring her hands. Now was not the time to show weakness. Mr. O'Brien, you may have learned from your foreman, a Mr. Monty, I believe his name was, that he has recently hired a new cowboy to work on your ranch. What you may not know, however, is that the new employee is not more than a boy, much too young to work around the dangerous longhorn cattle. Mr. O'Brien's brows rose. A boy, you say? And how are you acquainted with this boy? Anna's already firm jaw tightened a little more. He's my brother, and he's a lad of but 15 years, not even old enough to need a razor. Anna took a deep breath. Logic was probably the best way to approach this conversation. You see, Edward has always lived in the city and hasn't spent any significant time around cattle. He can handle a horse, but he doesn't have any experience dealing with wild animals of any sort. I'm afraid he would be a liability to you, and it would simply put him in too much danger. Now I'm sure you can see why I object to him being employed on a cattle ranch. I see. Mr. O'Brien had leaned forward during Anna's explanation, and his elbows now rested on the desk in a thoughtful pose. So your brother's not intelligent enough to receive training? Anna bristled. Of course he's intelligent. I'm simply concerned for his safety. Our parents are both deceased, and Edward is my responsibility. Therefore, I must insist you release him immediately. He leveled her with a kind look, but it held a hint of sadness, too. Miss Stewart, I won't begin to tell you there's no danger or discomfort in a cowboy's job, just as there is some sort of danger or discomfort in most professions. What I do know, however, is my men are all honest, God-fearing cowboys who put forth a full day's work in exchange for regular pay, hot meals, and my highest regard. I have full confidence in Monty's judgment. If he felt your brother has the qualities needed to develop into a talented cowpuncher worthy of his fellow cowboys' respect, then I believe your brother will be just fine. Monty will make sure he's properly trained, and the rest will be up to your brother. Anna sat back in her chair and exhaled a breath she didn't realize she had been holding. Was he right? Could this ranch be a good place for Edward? Releasing her brother's care into the hands of a group of rough cowboys made bile rise in her stomach. Edward was all she had left, her only connection to Mama and Papa and home. I have a proposition for you, Miss Stewart. Mr. O'Brien's deep voice broke into her thoughts. I don't know what your current pursuits include, but I am in need of a cook for my ranch. You met Lola, my cousin, who's been handling all the meals and house cleaning for a number of years now. She's worked hard in her lifetime and is beginning to slow down a bit. This house is her pride and joy, but I've convinced her to give up the kitchen if we can find a suitable replacement. The twinkle came back into his eyes. I believe from her introduction that she approves of you, so I'm sure she would be willing to teach you her skills as a cook if you'd be willing to learn. That way you could keep an eye on your brother and even make sure we feed him properly. His lips quirked as he spoke the final words. Anna's mind reeled as she absorbed the offer. A cook on a cattle ranch? She'd been cooking and keeping house for Papa and Edward over the past 8 years since Mama died, so she'd developed quite a repertoire and loved being in the kitchen. But that was her own kitchen back home, not a stranger's kitchen cooking for strange cowboys. And Edward. Taking this job would mean she would see her brother every day and ensure his safety as much as possible. They would stay together. Anna scrutinized the man across the desk. Uncle Walter had spoken highly of him, and everything appeared to confirm he was a gentleman. And Miss O'Brien was here, so she would have female company as well. Perhaps this could work.